button?
No, it's not lighting up, so maybe this doesn't work. Thanks. I must be tired from last night's session. Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ulster County IDA meeting. I'd like to call our meeting to order. We'll pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call. Lynn Archer.
Here.
Mike Ham.
Here.
Steve Kelly. Here. Rashida Tyler. Not here yet. Rachel.
Here.
Silverman. And Kastub isn't yet. And Diane Einen, I am here. All right. Read the mission statement of the IDA. The mission of the Ulster County Industrial Development Agency is to advance the job opportunities, general prosperity, and long-term economic vitality of Ulster County residents by targeting tax incentives, bonding, and other assistance to foster creation and attraction of new business and the retention and expansion of existing business. All right. I'd like to call your attention to the minutes that begin on page 3 of your packet. If you can take a few moments to review the minutes, and then if someone is prepared to make a motion to accept the minutes, that would be wonderful.
Move to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Public comment on agenda items only. Anyone? All right. All right, executive session. Joe, I believe we're going to go into executive session for just a few minutes regarding personnel issues. Okay. Bill, we shouldn't be too long, so.
It's both financial and personal information regarding qualifications of some applicants that we have for employment. Yep.
We'll be discussing them later, Bill, in the meeting. Thank you. I'll find out too.
Chair, if I may, really quick, are we off, Jay? You are. Okay, you're good. Okay, but really quick. So this has, whatever we're going to do here, but the pending transaction list, so we're aware of Wildberry Lodge. Joe, if you want to make a note on that. Wildberry Lodge, the county is moving ahead to purchase that property over there.
Did they decide it
Last night. Last night, they think they're going to move ahead with it, so.
How much?
I think 3.7 mil.
What?
And
That is ridiculous.
And then we're
That is
gonna build
absolutely.
the new center in there, so.
Okay.
You wanna know something? You gotta spend money to make a little money. Listen.
How are
I'm
they
all
gonna
for
make
it.
money? How are they gonna make money?
Yeah, that's the question.
Well, you know what? You can't put a price tag on people's safety, correct? Safety, safety, safety.
There are plenty of other properties that they could have gotten.
You know, here's my thing. How is something getting built in Impulse? I'm just amazed.
We're buying the land, it'll take forever.
No, we're gonna put a PLA together. We're gonna be building that thing in a year. Yeah.
All right, happy days. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanna let you know that. Okay?
Yeah, that's good to know, Mike. Thanks.
So
We
they're
can-
not
we can
gonna be
reach- we
coming
can reach out
back
to
here.
Steve Kirk, too.
Hey, Costa, you might want to just 3 points. Yeah. short.
Okay, we now have,
A frame of reference.
we have now a base level, which is about 12 minutes.
I don't
Oh,
know,
you
but
timed us.
it's all subject to change.
What else did I have?
This is true.
But yeah, I've seen a lot.
I've been a lot worse.
I've been in the hallways a long time with Bill, waiting for executive session.
Careful.
All right, Jay, you good? Okay.
Starts out not so.
Okay.
So we should just announce that we're back in open session, 9:25, and no action was taken during the executive session.
Yeah, we are back in session. It's 9:25. No action was taken during executive session. I would also like, for the record, to note that Rashida Tyler is present, and Kastu Bahal is also here as well. Okay. All right, moving on through the agenda. Wanted to give an update on financials and payment of IDA bills. A word of thanks to Mike Ham for helping me with this. Currently, Mike was the only one on the current board that had authority to sign checks, so he had the happy job of doing that. And we're working on some of those logistical things related to our finances, which I'll share with in a minute. But I just wanted, for the record, we have paid all of our current invoices, are all paid off. We also paid some bills in advance that were past due, so we are in good standing financially. Everything has been paid and up to date. Rose, our former CEO, had a credit card that was in her name for incidentals for the board-related expenses. That has been paid in full. We have canceled the card, and we will, if the board approves and we think it's necessary moving forward when we have our permanent staff in place, we may or may not go through that process of approving a credit card for that staff person for incidentals. But that card has been canceled. And then any cost associated with work of IDA with whoever is helping us through the transition will be in a pass-through capacity. We'll pay it through pass-throughs and pay them individually for that. Let's see if there's anything else with financials. Also, some housekeeping, if you will, with financials. Some formal board members were issued with the bank for able to sign our checks. They have been removed from that as well. And Mike's information had to be updated, which is being done, and then I will be a signature as well. So, hi, come on in. So we're getting our financial house in order and some of the housekeeping around with that. So I feel like we're in great shape there. And thank you, Mike, for all your help in doing that. All right, Mike. Anything I forgot around our financials there?
No, we made one deposit
Right.
for a fee that came in, a monthly fee came in. And we went over and we gathered up the mail. So we have all the new mail. We'll get that over to the chair.
Yeah.
So the mail, we picked up the mail over at the post box, and then another check came in for Innis. So we'll get that deposited also.
Thank you. Just we're talking about some housekeeping things. We've gotten a lot of things are in good shape right now. One of the issues that we still are having a bit of a challenge with, and I've reached out to O'Connor to get this, is we're still having challenges getting into our website and actually making changes to our website, which we have a list of things that we need to do, not only correct, but also upload some documents. So we're in the process of trying to get what we need to be able to start making those changes to the website. So I believe we'll be able to do that very shortly. All right. Chair's report. I think that we've made some really good progress in this past month in our terms of our transition. We are going to be talking under new business about some options for us in finding permanent staff, I should say, during our 6-month transition period. And we're presenting that under new business. I do want to thank, all the board members who have helped kind of step up and pick up some of the administrative and financial help to keep the IDA up and running. I think we've done a really great job doing that. And so thank you all for your help. The other thing that I also wanted to mention is that on Friday I'll be attending what's called a gateway meeting. And this gateway meeting will be with the county planning group, Tim Wiederman and others. We'll be meeting with Zinc 8. Zinc 8 is a company who does long duration energy storage. They use zinc air battery technology. Basically it's energy storage systems, and there is interest potentially in them looking at iPark 87 as a potential site. And so this gateway meeting is on Friday, and essentially what that is the key county agencies and those that are responsible for permitting for new business coming in and establishing a company like this will be present to help Zinc 8 better understand how to work with the county, for example, with the IDA, how the IDA works with potential projects. So that meeting will be happening on Friday. Not sure if, one, they will be here, they will choose the site, but certainly good conversations are going on. And also now with the passage yesterday of President Biden signing the energy and healthcare bill, or the tax reduction bill, we're not sure quite what implications that will have on a company like Zinc 8 and whether or not it makes sense for them to come to an agency such as the IDA. But we'll learn more about that on Friday during the gateway, and I'll keep you guys all up to date on that project. Yeah, Costume.
Do we have any understanding of the scope that they're thinking about, or any preliminary presentation from them?
No, not yet, but I do suspect that'll be part of what we'll see on Friday. They'll make a formal presentation as best as they understand the project right now and how they're thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and also a word of thanks to Joe and his staff for all the help and helping us put together the meeting, and to Jay and the team for helping us as well. That ends my report, the chair's report. Wanted to move into committee reports. Anything from audit? I know audit did not meet. Finance did not meet either. Governance committee?
Governance Committee. So the Governance Committee met on August 4th at 9 a.m. The discussions were most microphone's killing me, Joe. But the discussions were staffing, how we're going to move ahead, and what we're going to do for, the absence of our CEO who handled all this stuff. We want to bring to this board housing moratorium. We'd like to see it extended 3 more months. With the new board coming into play, everybody's going to have different ideas and a fresh view on what we can do. So, I'm going to get with Costume, and I'm going to get with Lynn, and we're going to schedule a meeting through Joe for our next governance meeting prior to the 21st of September, which is our next IDA meeting. We may be able to squeeze in 2, okay, if you guys are up for it. So it's pretty important that we get some of this stuff put away. So, Chair, I'd like to recommend that we extend the housing moratorium 3 more months.
Motion to pass.
So moved.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We can have discussion, but with the motion
Absolutely.
to. Okay, second.
Second.
Okay, go ahead. Discussion.
So I'm in favor of extending the moratorium, but for 2 more months, not for 3 more months. 2 more, not 3.
Can I ask why?
Right, because I think that a moratorium has been in place for a very long time, and also we're getting our bearings together. We have a company in place that we're looking at right now, that in 2 months, I think we really should be at a place that we can entertain this. And 3 months actually puts us into the winter months. And I also think it's something that we're kind of kicking the can down the road. So I think that 2 months is a good time frame. 60 days, it gives us a time to start getting into that mindset again. Because, yeah.
They understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just so everybody's aware, 3 months is the extension, but at any given time, we can go back and we can draw that back to whatever we want to end it as. 3
Can we
months is
extend it
pretty
as well?
much the guideline. We could go back in 2 months and we could say, hey, it's off the table, we're ready to roll.
So could we go back and extend it in 2 months as well?
Well, like I said, the extension right now has been written up pretty much a 3-month moratorium with the opportunity to cancel it at any time we want.
Right, but is there anything that adheres us to 3 months instead of 2? I think 2 gives us a good window of time to put the pressure on us to
Well,
circle back
we
to
were
this.
going on a quarterly thing,
Yeah.
okay? And, you know, one thing you'll have to understand here too, we're pretty much on 5 months hiatus here and, you know, not getting a lot done. So, it's gonna take a little time. We've met, you know, the governance committee has been working pretty hard to put a bunch of stuff into play right now, but it's still ongoing discussions. And
We have a housing committee?
Yeah, we do.
we,
Why do we have a housing committee if it's...
Oh, it's
Don't
a
have
working group.
just to be clear, we don't
Working
have a
group.
housing committee, we have a working group. A
Right.
committee
yeah, we
means
don't
that we
have a committee.
have 3 board members. We
And
have a
anything
working
on an
group.
extension of that has to come through the governance committee.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
So my recommendation is to amend to 2 months.
If I may, we did talk about this. We pushed back on this at the meeting. And the reality is that there's not even any work there's some work that was done in the past, from the past group, but nothing finite, nothing in writing.
no, what it was is there was an extension by the legislators to keep the current board on and keep continuing on before we, you know, they went through and looked at new applications. So while that was going on, there was a lot of focus on the projects and not on this. And now, you know, we're trying to find out an avenue here to help out with housing. You know, I don't believe this is the entity to solve the housing problem. I think we can figure out what we can do to help. Okay, I think that more or less has to come on a legislative end. So we're going to have to look to them a little bit too, and we can offer up whatever we can do.
Yeah, more of a question for the housing subgroup, if you may. What's the objective for both 60 days or 90 days? Does that really materially change anything? Do we have something visible that actually will be impacted?
Not from the working group. We just had our first meeting in the beginning of August,
Right.
and we're going to have our second meeting in the beginning of September. But I think, given the fact that the moratorium has been in place for how long now? Since last December?
Yeah, I think where we are, frankly, is I understand what you're saying. It's like we've now extended the moratorium a few times. Totally recognize that. As Mike said, also though, the previous board really, for the last few months of their appointment, really was not, for a variety of was able to keep things moving, right? Given where we were with the process of reappointments, and so we really, frankly, have not had as a board the opportunity to really, I think, dig deep and do extensive kind of research and homework that we feel confident as a board that this is our role that we can play within the scope of our structure and our mission and our contribution to addressing the housing crisis here in the county. And I frankly am not convinced we can do that in 2 months. I think maybe 3. If we can do it in 2 months because we're in place, we're now fully up and operating. Hopefully we will, at the end of this meeting, we will have a way forward with our 6-month transition period with having staff to help us. I think we're in a good place now to get really focused on housing and frankly some other things of the work of the IDA. And so I feel comfortable with a 3-month moratorium only in that I feel like finally we can actually start doing a deep dive, because the last 2 times we've put the moratorium in place, frankly, it is because the board at that time was not able to really get much work done. Be frank. Yeah.
So, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Deb.
So the issue to me isn't really about the length of time of the extension. I mean, 3 months to me, I don't think is really that long. So, I could support that. My issue more is we have a working group, and why isn't this going through our working group?
I don't understand the question. What do you mean it's not going
Yeah.
through the working group?
Well, if we have a working group, wouldn't that working group be tasked with coming up with recommendations?
Yes, and
Yeah.
no one, that's what we're saying, but
Yeah,
but we officially have a moratorium that's on the books that has expired, and we need to, as a board, continue with the moratorium or not, so that we can continue to explore in the working committee that will feed that information to me and to the governance committee, where it will come out of long-term and present it to the full board. So it's part of the process, right? The working committee is generating some ideas, feeds into the governance committee, that comes in, and then at some point, the governance committee, under their purview, will come to the full board and say, this is our recommendation for the IDA housing policy. And then that will be a discussion by the full board, right? So that is the process. So it's not taking anything out of the working group's work right now. In fact, it should be accelerating that now that we have the moratorium and we're all on the same page. And again, that feeds into the governance committee.
And if the working group has something prepared by next month and presents it to governance, I don't see, I think to the point Mike made, we're not locked into waiting that 3 months. It
No.
can be done sooner, so.
I would be happier sooner. I just want it to
Yeah.
be right, you know, and that we've given it some really good thought. And I would rather not constrain us to 2 months if we have 3 months to do that. That what we produce and what we recommend and what we agree to do as a board, that we feel really good about what we've done, and
I
we've
think we
given
need
it a
to
lot
err
of
on the
thought.
side of caution too, because you've got to put the right stuff in place also. You know, you put the wrong stuff in place, unscrupulous contractors come in, bad actors, and they're going to take advantage of every inch of this. So you've got to really protect yourself against that. So it's got to be right. And, you know, I'm not saying we can't get it done in 2 months. I'd like to see it done in 2 months. I really would. We had great discussion with the working group, you know, some good insight and some good conversation. And we're all currently, you know, everybody's working an avenue on this to get to a solution. So I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. You know, we were hot on it for a while there, and then all of a sudden it died out because everything was moving, you know.
So I just wanted to make sure that we don't come back in 3 months and then go for another 3-month extension. So that's
possibility.
yeah. So that's yeah.
That's it could be 2 months and we can come back with 2 more months. You know,
Yeah.
it's a good possibility.
I would say for the purpose of today, I think the spirit of this is that we're here, we are now really focused on, we're able to really focus on housing as a board through the working committee, then through the governance and back to the full board. And I think that, you know, as much as the working committee can get together or a group can get together, you know, and feed into governance, and governance, you know, is the better we can do. And I think we're all on the same page. Sooner rather than later would be better, but we also want to make sure it's right, and it makes sense. So I think we're all on the same page. I don't want to keep moving this down and down. I mean, we have to come to some decision about the role of the IDA in housing.
I do have a couple of questions. One, I'm going to repeat the last one. Is there anything impending that hinges on us making this decision at all, either way?
Well, right now, any project that's brought before us, I mean, the current language,
Policy.
you know, the current language, if there was something coming up, it has to go through every taxing jurisdiction once again.
Right. So the
With-
second, sorry,
What
go
was the
ahead.
last clause we entered in there?
Well, we have a pending project.
We do.
And they're on hold.
But those are on hold.
Yeah,
Put it on,
one.
put on hold, but to my knowledge, we have no
No.
additional
No.
applications.
Right. And
Yeah.
we're not holding anything up.
No, we're not holding anything,
Nothing.
nor have they come back to us.
Right.
Right.
And then the second thing would be, do we know what we are devising during the next 3 months, let's say, or 60 days if we choose to curtail it? And the third question is a confirmation, Joe. The way it's written currently, we can extend and we can curtail both? Oh, okay. So do we know what we are devising in the next 2 to 3 months?
That's going to be the work out of the working
Okay.
group, and then it'll come out of the governance committee. So that will be the work of the working group and the governance committee over the next few months. That's exactly what their work will be. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to end discussion, so we need to, we don't need roll call, do we? From this vote?
I would actually prefer Or just
I-
just so
Okay.
I would say so.
I would keep
Okay.
I keep my notes
Okay.
clear. Yep.
Fair enough. All right, so roll call. We have a motion to approve an extending a 3-month moratorium on our housing policy. Diane Einen, yes. Lynn Archer?
Yes.
Mike Ham?
Yes.
Steve Kelly?
Yes.
Rashida Tyler?
No.
Rachel Silverman?
Yes.
And Kastu Baha?
Yes.
Okay, it's passed. Thank you.
6-1.
Chair, that ends my report.
Thank you.
All right, old business. Joe, status of pending projects. This should be quick.
Yes, thank you, Chair. On page 6 of your materials is the list of pending projects. No change on any of those since the last meeting. I appreciate getting the information from Mr. Ham regarding project number 1, and I'll follow up and have some information for you at the next meeting. With that, I'll open it up for any comments or questions.
Questions, comments?
Have we heard from Magruder at all? No? Anything, Joe?
No, I haven't heard from any of them.
Okay.
And what I will do, since you've asked the question, the project that I was advised is on a fourth quarter 2022 closing schedule is Cresco Labs, and I will reach out to them because I have forwarded information to them about new contact information with respect to the chair's contact information. I'll follow up with them to get a status on that also.
All right. All right, on to new business. All right. So if you, new business, our first item is our short-term transition employment contract that you have before you. As I have mentioned in previous meetings, the IDA essentially is going through 2 phases as we transition from working with O'Connor and Rose Woodworth as our CEO. The immediate transition period is for the next 6 months, in September through February. And in the interim, our governance committee will be meeting and working to present back to the board, hopefully next month, their recommendations for our ongoing structure, our permanent structure, and what that looks like. And so what I would like to present to the board today is this contract for you for an agreement for administrative support for a 6-month period from September 1st through to February. And this would be with an agreement with the legislative office. This is a group of independent staff that have presented this contract to us for the next 6 months to provide the administrative work that needs to be done for the IDA, including many of the administrative tasks that were done by our previous CEO. There is also support for us around accounting and finance. They have a CPA who has done extensive work with organizations such as us. Just recently, as part of their work outside of their county work, completed an audit of the Hudson IDA, so is very familiar with Paris reports and other types of reports that the IDA is required to submit. They'll help us with our website, again, and do all the things that we need to do. I'm really pleased. I think that this is a wonderful opportunity for us to get immediate administrative help with a group of people that are already familiar with the work that needs to be done, so we're not training them for the first 6 months or 3 months of the contract period. I would also say that in this contract, we've also put in provision that they will help us train and transition whatever permanent staff that we choose to hire moving forward. So I think that this is a wonderful opportunity for us to move forward and have a transition plan so that we can get back to focusing on the work of the board, which would be the working group on housing, public education, community engagement, and some of the other priorities that we have for this year. So with that, I would like to have a motion to accept the contract as presented to us by the Legislative Staffing Office. Have a motion to...
Chair, I'll make the motion.
Second? Open for discussion. Any questions?
I will, if I could.
Yes.
Just a comment,
Thank
not
you, Lynn.
questions. I've worked with most of the people, worked with all the people that are going to support us in this contract. And my understanding is it's going to be Jay, who we've already had some experience with, and all the work she's done to help us get ready. And then Amber Feaster, who is the CPA. I've worked with Amber in the past, and she has experience with Paris reporting, et cetera, and will add value to this process and will allow us to really think through where we're headed as a board. So I have every confidence that with this group. And I also think it's important just to outline, we have put guardrails in place that, you know, if there's information from the IDA that's public knowledge, it can be discussed, but if they come across information, whether it's project related or whatnot, that is private and has not been made public yet, they are going to be held to, they'll be signing NDAs that they can't be discussed until it becomes public. So I think that's the important piece here. So I look forward to working with you guys again.
Yeah, both of you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay. Do a roll call.
Please, yes.
All right.
Please, Chair, thank you.
Diane Einen, yes. Lynn Archer?
Yes.
Mike Ham?
Yes.
Steve Kelly?
No.
Rashida Tyler?
Yes.
Rachel Silverman?
Yes.
Kastu Baha?
Yes.
Thank you. It passes 6-1. Thank you. And as we look forward to the second phase of our transition, the contract that you have before you is with Norman Staffing. And the contract here is to help us, once governance comes back to the board with a recommendation for a permanent structure and we approve, that Norman would be ready to go and help us to find a qualified staff person or persons to fill the roles and these positions that we'll be seeking. And so instead of waiting for us to get to that point and then having to find a group like Norman to help us find qualified candidates, we want to pass the contract as a board today so that when we are ready to move forward, whether it's 2 months, 3 months, 4 months from now, whatever it might be, we're ready to go. And we don't have to pause and wait to find the resources to help us. And so that is the contract before us. And I don't know, Lynn, if there are any things in here that you would like to highlight, or Steve, because you've worked with this group before.
I think it's a good group.
Any questions? No? All right. Can I have a motion to pass, accept this contract?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? No? Okay. All right, roll call. All in favor, Diane Einen, yes. Lynn Archer?
Yes.
Mike Ham?
Yes.
Steve Kelly?
Yes.
Rashida Tyler?
Yes.
Rachel Silverman? Yes. And Kastub Bahal?
Yes.
Thank you. Passes 7-0. Thank you, everyone. All right. Motion for adjournment. Second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned at, what is that, 9:52. Thank you. Yeah, we'll have a 5-minute break and we'll go into the CRC. Thank you.
Let me
So they're not,
Superfluous the report was discussed at the meeting. And that's, I'm asking for something that's a point in time, and discussion items are available, so that's what I'm asking. And the words. Most writers don't use the word.
thank you. All right, I would like to call to order the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation meeting. Roll call. Lynn Archer.
Here.
Michael Ham.
Here.
Steve. Kelly. Rashida.
Here.
Rachel.
Here.
Kostub.
Here.
Diane Inen here. Okay, thank you, everyone. Mission statement. All right, my mission statement, I do not have it in front of me.
It's at the bottom of the.
Thank you. I should know this by heart. The mission of the Ulster County Capital Resource Corporation is to promote community and economic development in Ulster County in ways that complement the work of the Ulster County, primarily through issuing and selling bonds for non-profit institutions. Thank you. Okay. All right. If approval of minutes from our July 20th regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Financials as reported in the IDA meeting, all of our current payments are in good standing, and as reported in the IDA meeting. Chair's report, nothing to report. There is no old business. New business. I would like to have a motion that we accept and we've passed the short-term transition employment contract with the county, as well as the contract with Norman for permanent staffing when we're ready to move forward.
We need a motion.
Do we need a motion for that, or we just accept it as the IDA passed it?
Actually, technically, the Norman contract is only with the IDA.
Oh, correct, I'm sorry, yes.
The short-term contract with the county is with both parties, which is why we have it on the
Correct,
agenda
sorry.
today. So you just need a motion for the short-term 6-month county contract.
All right,
I'll
correction.
make that motion.
Thank you. Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Passed. 7-0.
Um,
Oh, Steve? I'm sorry.
Okay,
6-1.
6-1.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We're adjourned.